club or country? That is a debate that most people thought you probably wouldn't have needed to be having when it comes to international cricket, given the fact that cricket at the highest level has almost always been about bilateral series taking place regardless of the format, be it Test cricket, ODI cricket, or in today's day and age, even T20I cricket. But this is without taking into account the fact that domestic T20 franchise-based leagues have become so popular at this point that, truth be told, it does threaten to envelop or swallow up the international game, both in terms of eyeballs as well as relevancy and, more importantly, the amount of money that is on offer to players. And a new news report does in fact shed some dangers of the fact that franchise cricket is in fact growing to a point where soon the way cricket is consumed by fans could very well be changing forever. And what's more, it threatens the very nature of the bilateral game, the way it is played at the international levels. But how exactly is that the case? What is this new news, and how much of a threat does it really pose to the game as we know it? That's what we're going to be covering in this video. So before we go into what it is, let's say, that can be done to solve the issue, let's first talk about the issue at hand. The issue at hand is that there has been a news report come in the British newspaper The Times, which talks about the fact that a number of top England stars, up to 6 of them in fact, have been offered year-long deals by IPL franchises. Now, the money that is on offer here is staggering, because one of those contracts could be worth up to 50 crores for the whole year. And what's more, these contracts will not just see players play in the IPL, but also be playing in multiple leagues around the world. Remember, right now, a lot of IPL teams own franchises in domestic leagues the world over. So, for instance, take, say, a Kolkata Knight Riders, who have not only KKR as a franchise, but also the Abu Dhabi Knight Riders, the Trinbago Knight Riders, and the soon-to-be existing Los Angeles Knight Riders. The theory is that KKR could sign one player for a year-long deal, pay him about 50 crores, and say that you play for all of our teams across all of these leagues. And if you think that this 50 crores isn't a lot, well, let's just quickly take a look at what exactly it is that players earn from, of course, a central contract with their board. And we're only looking at the top 3, or the so-called big 3 of cricket, because truth be told, that is where most of the money is to be made. Big 3, of course, refer to England, India, and Australia. And if you look at the contracts that are offered, or the highest contracts that are offered, you'd see just how big the disparity is. An ECB contract, or an ECB central contract, of which of course there are many divisions, but the highest amount that a player can earn from an ECB contract is worth approximately rupees 9.17 crores in one particular year. Similarly, if you're a centrally contracted player for Cricket Australia, the highest amount of money that you can earn is about rupees 5.13 crores per year. And if you're held to a BCCI contract, which is of course for the Indian cricket team, the top grade, the grade A plus contract, is worth rupees 7 crores. You know what's the big similarity between all 3 of these figures that you can see? All of them are dwarfed by the 50 crore money that is potentially on offer to these England players. And why it's posing such a danger to the international game is because those year-long contracts will, of course, see players turn down central contracts or even county contracts and be exclusively contracted to IPL franchises to be used as guns for hire in pretty much every single domestic league where this team just so happens to have another franchise. That is the major danger. And if you see the money on offer, I mean 50 crores versus upwards of 9 crores, the amount which is on, let's say, on offer is massive. And what's more, it's for much less cricket as well, because that's the thing. This 9 crores will be given to an ECB contracted player who plays all 3 formats, Test, ODIs and T20Is. Right now, you could take 50 crores, play just T20s for a year and be making, well, pretty much 5 times the amount of money that you'd be making as a centrally contracted player. That is why this is being seen as such an existential threat to bilateral cricket. Now, bilaterals, as I said, has been the lifeblood of the game for forever, really, but it's very much in danger. Why? Because first off, if this offer does in fact become reality, they're going to see a lot of players in fact look to take this option, and who can blame them? They'd be making 5 times more money, so there's going to be a major exodus of players from all of the top countries. They're not going to be choosing to take central contracts. They will most likely prefer signing these IPL contracts, which are of course guaranteed money for less pay. Who can blame them? And what's more, already you note for a fact that bilateral cricket is pretty much struggling for relevancy. That's why you have qualifiers being introduced for the T20 and ODI World Cups. That's why you had the old ODI Super League thing. That's why you have a World Test Championship. Bilaterals right now are struggling as far as giving them some form of relevancy or context. Right now, bilaterals are happening for the sake of bilaterals happening, and that has in fact driven away a lot of people from watching the game. And this actually does bring about the old point where when we were at the start of the video we were talking about club versus country not necessarily being a thing. Now you could very well see that, because let's assume for 1 second that football or cricket does become a club based thing. Then you'll see players mostly turn out for clubs and maybe occasionally being released by these clubs to turn out for their countries in big tournaments or big friendly matches. That is how it is in football, and it does very much seem like cricket is heading that way too. The signs are slowly but surely growing that the IPL and other domestic leagues around the world are going to supersede international cricket. And the reason for it, ironically, is the one reason that has driven the international bilateral series to a point of irrelevancy: money. The main reason why there's so many bilateral series is because it ensures that the broadcast revenue keeps flowing in. However, leagues like the IPL, the BBL, the Caribbean Premier League, ILT20, or pretty much any other league around the world has the appeal of all of the stars playing under one banner, and therefore would be guaranteed more money, which means that not only do the boards as well as the private stakeholders stand to earn more money, the players also stand to earn more money as well. So we could very well be reaching that tipping point in cricket where it too becomes club based rather than being country first. No longer will international cricket have the kind of relevancy that it does in the game right now, and that could be something that a lot of people might find hard to digest. You can let us know in the comments below how you feel about this entire proposal of one player being contracted to an IPL franchise and then playing multiple domestic leagues around the world. And you can let us know in the comments how you feel about that. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, to like it, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap that bell icon, leave us a comment, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Don't forget to download the AajTak app, and if you're already on the channel, go ahead and check out some other videos that we've done. For now, from my side, goodbye.